You're an amateur. You're like from the Amateurville horror of amateur people. You're so amateur at everything you do. You're hey, oh, hey, oh, my mother and my father, be healthy and long upon the earth. Thank you for the most sacred days of my life. They will last all my days. Like all the rays of the sun. That's the song I long to sing. Sacred song, others love. My flesh and blood, my father, he made me safe. He kept me green. My father's love and labor long. I owe him my holy song. I owe my father all my day, all my labor with these rays. My son almighty, my throne on earth, where I keep the heavens. Where I keep the heaven in my breath. And what I feel, and where that death, I feel it enter into our home. Oh, dearest daddy, in our life and bone. I scare the devil, say go away. Oh, dearest daddy, I dare not pray. On God Almighty, where you put your faith. I say kick his ass and take back what is safe. What is safe for me, my daddy too. I take place beside the wound. And all my labors, oh, from the air and from the heavens and everywhere. Hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, 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 yo, hey, yo. Sorry, I got a bit stupid. I got a bit stupid. You got a bit long. That's okay. You're just stupid. Stupid little song, man. Don't pay it. No, don't pay it no mind. Don't pay my son any money. True. If you give your money, you're just a fool. It's not a fable. It's not a lie. That's right, it's not a fable. It's not a lie. My love for my daddy. That love shall never die. That love shall I almost lost my weed there. Okay, not a good spot for weed. Yeah, not a good spot. Woo! To put your joint. You could have lost it. And what would be the point? You could have lost it. What would be the point? You got to change your perspective and roll another joint. So what I've learned from nature, don't you love how this moves now? It's like, you're going to move, are you? That's okay. I don't mind a little movement. As long as it doesn't all fall down. Okay. It's passable. That's okay. Lets me know it's there. Yeah. Nature has shown me some things. Nature has shown me a world of, I want to be careful I don't make this leading. I don't want to insinuate more than I should about me or power or what I know about nature or symbols or anything. I'd rather start by saying, if there's anything that's symbolic for you, I'd like to think that I could understand why you found certain symbols meaningful. And if you can think of one right now, like anything that's symbolic for you, color, a gesture, anything that has meaning for you, that has a kind of symbolic nature, like a sign. Something where you go, hey, when I see that, that's a good sign. Or when I see that, that's a bad sign. Not so much in things people do, which are also signs, because the human body gives off tones, but just something really simple, like two-dimensional, like a letter, a circle, maybe a leaf. Maybe a leaf is a symbol, or a flower. I know there's sacred geometry. Try to pick something really simple, like something from the earth, like do you ever see a circle in nature or a triangle in nature? Do you ever see like a cross in nature? Do you think like the limbs of trees ever cross in ways that look like the letter Y, the letter E, the number 3? Have you ever seen pictures or a symbol in the clouds? Do things ever smile at you? Do you ever see the letter S, the number 5, the number 2, the number 7? Do you ever think about what it sounds like in your head? Like 7 sounds like heaven, the number 3 sounds like free, the number 2 sounds like poo. Maybe that's why we call it the number 2. Why do we call poo the number 2? And poo also has 2 O's, which is a symbol looking at me right now with a smile. Like 2 worlds coming together. Like life in the day is an emergent property whose creative nature and origins, like a language, is shared by all existing things across all time and all the forces of nature, and wherever anything comes from and whatever it goes to. And then when it goes to, it doesn't come to an end, but to is about, we bring the origin, the original relationship with us everywhere we go. So the power and the intelligence and the purpose of everything that is born is contained in everything that is born in us and with us. And whether we give birth to a wonderful future or an awful future is up to each of us today. Today is the day. The future of the earth will be decided. It'll be decided by you. It'll be decided by me. It'll be decided by everyone, no matter rich or poor in the world today, the decisions that we make. We share that with the richest, most powerful people in history, that the decisions we make today, we labor to bring anything or everything to some birth personal to us, as pains in our body and joys in our heart and heaviness on our heart. If you can experience a heaviness in your heart, if you can feel anger, bitterness, or shock that this or that part of the world has deprived you of your voice, accidentally, purposefully, economically, there is nothing, reasonably speaking, this world has ever asked of us that could not have come to some lethal effect upon human beings. That's just the way it is. Doesn't make it good. Doesn't mean you can't rebel against it. Doesn't mean it's not your enemy today, and it might be your best friend tomorrow. That world of glass and steel could be the most magical place you ever went with your dad. One day, it could kill you. The world's like a beast. There's no need to treat that beast like it's always perfect, and there's no need to treat that beast like it's always evil. But it is a complicated world. It's a powerful world. You're powerful also. I'm powerful. Our voices are powerful. And you might say, when raised together in a church or in some legislature by this or this, it might make the world a better place. Or it may curse other people and make them angry. It may fly against their personal principles and their own personal sense of survival, what sounds right to them. And if they feel threatened, maybe they'll come burn our houses down. The human voice is a powerful thing. Got to be careful. It's nice that the world dilutes our voices. You wouldn't want the world to hear everything you think, or when you're angry. If you're angry at the police one day, you wouldn't want that to be broadcast to every police officer. Hey, this guy said something bad about the police. Oh, whoa. Oh, I'm driving right behind him right now. It's like, I think I'm going to find some infractions. Because we're human. If I heard you say something bad to me, but like, whoa, there's that dude that threatened to kill my family. And so our voice is important. It's lawful. It's dangerous. It can scare people. I can inspire people. I could scare myself. I think anything that's cathartic for me is dangerous for me as well. I don't think everybody should hear everything I have to say. I wonder about that every day, right now. In a world with all kinds of artifice, I worry about being fake, deluding myself, simply turning upon this little black eye with more confidence than I should become accustomed to, because it's leading me down a dark and unfriendly road. In short, I don't know what I'm doing, but I like it. It feels good, strong, and I don't think it has to always feel good to be right. My ass is cold. My life and my happiness is contingent. Long as it be contingent upon anything, I'd be a scared fucking animal. I don't like my life's contingent. I don't think even $500 would change how contingent my happiness is. You see that two ways. While that's scary, or there must be some kind of intelligence to the universe that makes everything go as well as it does. And none of that's an excuse to necessarily work my ass off to death. I better go to a job. Then I'm going to be safer. But then I wouldn't get to my mom every day. My mom has needed my help. From time to time. So I think if I can come out here and be healthy, because my body is a scientific instrument, and I don't know if with all that I clearly sound like I think I know something about words and communication and signals and signs and language and the world, which we all end up appearing as though we do by the time you get to be 50 and you're talking to anybody or you're expressing yourself. You probably err on the side of looking like you feel like you know something, which I'm not sure if I want to give that impression completely. I just want to make that point clear. I don't think anyone needs to look at me and say, that's a guy that knows things. But that where we have a voice, we always know something. You know, in a crime show, when they talk to an 8-year-old, oh, I'm sure they know something. They probably know more than they realize until they start talking. You ever seen that on TV? Witnesses don't really know how much they know until they start talking to a sketch artist. So just think about how much you know when you start talking. So I have someone in my life where every time I think of them, I think, ugh, what a gross person. I don't want to mention their name, but it's like, I always think, ugh, what a gross person. My voice, when it rises to say what I think about them, it is never good. I wish my mother had never befriended them. But there's a positive to it. That someone like that, sometimes it's better to know what's going through their mind. It's better to know your enemy. My mom is good with sick people, but I don't think she knows how to back off always. She's very compassionate. This type of person is mentally ill. They don't think about other people. Life is a scary social place, so a lot of people say they make money talking about their money, talking about their expensive vacations, talking about this. That's all they have to talk about. I've heard them talk about their dog's poop too. I mean, people like to have something to talk about. But people like my mother and I, type A negative blood, we don't, I can talk all day, but if I meet you, I don't need to tell, I have nothing to tell you. If you said, hey Landon, I saw your video, tell me about yourself, and you're like, well, on video, I would say that I'm a druid and a witch and a poet and a hardworking, scared human animal who's sort of lost a lot in his life in a way that he surmises, if I may speak about myself in the third person, as kind of fate, destiny, something not within his control, but something that he absolutely suffers from every day of his life. Not because he thinks he should control it, but because he knows that whatever I feel that I've lost is related to the way I walk upon the earth and the signs that I give off to other people. You think, well, if you lose your mother or father at all, then maybe you weren't worth sticking around for it. In this way, you imagine yourself to be like a religious avatar, that you should be able to make your parents love you and admire you so much, like a god, that they would never seek to leave you. They would see leaving you like leaving a god. And yet, people are afraid of leaving God, but they'll leave their children homeless. So we tell our children that you are not God to us. God is more important than you to us. Our parents, who are as though gods to us when we are born. Mine are gods to me still, as much as the spirits of all of these deities. And through the story and breath of their existence, my breath seeks to draw forth a new song. It were as though we were living off each other, wasn't it? But also the ethers, the deep, dark ethers at the center of the earth, in the void space. The black hole, the most practical black hole in existence, is inside the earth. The void of the mother, the yoni, the first triangle, right? The sacred star, the void space, the black hole sun, the dark. Not the nagul of Carlos Castaneda. That's a negative word, nagul. The nag, the hag, is Yule, the sacrificial nag, right? That he calls death, the shadow that follows you through your life. But rather, your connection to the very breath of spirit from the beginning of all created things is something you will never lose. It wouldn't be necessary to say that, but because in physical form we have the lower three chakras, which cause us, through their exertions and the conditions of their exertions and their compelling claims upon the mind, which is itself spirit and deathless. Therefore, we must come into doubt of our existence. And as much as we come into doubt of our safety or the longevity of any happiness, that anything we want that gives us joy, we don't want to lose that. You don't think while you're hanging out with your friends, oh gee, I wish they were all dead. Oh gee, I hope we drink and have a car accident and I see my best friend's head flying through the air. You don't wish for that. And if you do, your friend is with a psycho. You're not 8 years old and go, hey, I hope my mom dies of leukemia by the time I'm 9. I just want to have the experience of that agonizing bereavement of watching the love of your life pass away and suffer the last 3 years in agonizing pain while doctors hover over her and refuse to do a single thing to relieve her pain. While I watch her lose 150 pounds and wither away and try to crack a smile when I see her because she doesn't want me to suffer. I say this to summon up emotion, you see, because there shouldn't be cancer in this world. But certainly, you expect to suffer because we are fundamentally in doubt of our wellness. Clearly, people can get hurt. The deep three chakras of our body are about survival on the earth. They force us to be in doubt of our existence all the time. We want everyone to be happy and safe. If you ask everyone in the world, do you want everyone to be happy and free and safe? Yep, absolutely. Then why don't we? And part of that, well, you think, well, life is difficult. The world's a complicated place. We deliver necessary services to 1 billion people every day consistently. Buses run, garbage is picked up. Why should anybody suffer? We should be able to deliver joy and safety to every human being. The governments, the corporations should make a new mandate, a new platform, a new policy that should be based on successfully and sufficiently delivering joyful and safe states of being to every human being on earth in perpetuity. And everybody, any taxes you need to collect, as long as you fucking make that happen, and if you don't, everyone in the government goes to jail for 100 fucking years. Consecutive life sentences. If we can't deliver that, we should all be in jail. The world itself should be a jail of death. And lo and behold, this is what we have created for ourselves because we don't take care of each other and make sure that the joy of this creation is something, and the safety of that joy, that it can change, that it can be challenged, and that every challenge can be a new perspective. That in the evil that comes across our path, can we find even new life, new ways to feel how safe and protected we really are. And in our anger, in our defense, we can then turn and find our joy, because our joy itself defends itself with all of our defense system. And what is evil here can be turned as though a symbol 90 degrees, and we can, with the threat of evil, evil can be averted, even just with a turn of the head. It can be restored. The whole world can be made with but the turning of our mind around a single symbol, be it of the greatest evil and the greatest joy. A joy even that needed to be evil sometimes, that needed to be angry, to preserve itself. A law unto it. Joy itself should be sustained from the beginning. And so we carry the void of joy everywhere we go, inside our nerves, inside of our nerve packets, inside our spinal column, inside our brain, and inside all of the signals we give off all of our life are the signals of joy protecting itself. Are we not all born a bundle of joy? And then you protect yourself. Your body grew to protect itself, even from its mother's womb. So there's a place to be challenged by evil. Women are allowed to be a bit evil. Have you noticed that we humans let women be evil? Because we know that women need to be allowed to be evil in their way. We all need to have a little wickedness. How do you think Erin Brockovich gets her way? She shakes her boobs. I don't agree with objectifying a woman's body, but if a woman like Julia Roberts can do it, whatever you got to do, use that wickedness. Now, if a woman tries to persuade me using her body, I say, that's wicked. I don't want it. If it works, I say, hey, You're a charming, aren't you? You're a charming harlot. You're a strumpet. Or maybe a woman sidles your way and she becomes the love of your life. You liked her in that dress. My mom and dad really like something about each other because they both have a lot of different things to offer the world. And if you have trouble thinking about your parents being sacred, because I believe in honoring my parents, not because I've always liked them or been happy or haven't been shocked or depressed or hurt, but because the only purpose I can see for the agony of and bereavement in my family is bringing it to a place of feeling honest, like for my sake, that I can honor my mommy and daddy, who first and foremost, whose labor is to survive, if not to protect me always, were to help joy survive in the world. My mother is carrying joy that needs to be protected. I'm carrying joy that needs to be protected. You're carrying joy, your family, your people, your gender. Where applicable. That's nice. Scratch and sniff Snickers stickers are carrying a little joy for me. A little strawberry, ooh, a little bit of joy. Through nature and life, you might say everything you enjoy, from ice cream to going to the bathroom, is part of your joy. A cup of coffee is part of your joy. Your favorite chair is part of your joy. Your favorite TV show is part of your joy. Your favorite part of nature, your favorite part of this week or today, meeting someone new, getting rid of an abusive person who I guess was born a bundle of joy, but it's become too evil for you. People can make other people sick, right? The police have the right idea. I like their philosophy. Just leave each other alone. This is what I heard was from the RCMP. And I think a lot of law enforcement, they really understand this because they see a lot of human conflict. Just stay away from each other. A lot of human conflict is solved because people just make each other angry or sick or scared. So just separate. You don't want to get into trouble? Get away from people who are evil people. And evil people challenge you. You might think, okay, at least they challenge me, they challenge my joy. Maybe I didn't have enough confidence in my own, way of being, so I let this person into my life and they stole joy from my fire. They shocked me, they hurt me, they robbed me, they lied to me. They were using a coping system that, innocent as it was in this crazy complex world, it made me want to understand the world better. It made me understand that no matter what, sometimes I need people not to be near me. And those people are evil, maybe, but it's like it's too much evil. And too much evil maybe is necessary sometimes, but you have to learn that, certain kinds of people may be evil to you. And it's not good. It's offered you something. You've had to shout forth your breath. As someone who takes something from you, makes you scream like a baby inside for the rest of your life. I think about things, people that have been difficult for me, and it's like my spirit is screaming. Get away from me. Get away from me. I don't want to know you anymore. If you're in any kind of stressful relationship, part of your mind might say, get away from me. Get away from me. I wish I'd never met you. Fill in the blank, what I call people like you. That's a voice in the world. We're honoring that voice. That's sacred. I don't want to hurt it, thwart it, magnify it, misuse it, create violence for anyone. But let's honor the voice of police all over the world who see conflicts and say, if someone is really that bad for you, if you don't like the police coming up to you in your car, go somewhere else. Just go somewhere else. Have your beef, but ultimately, a lot of conflicts are simply solved by going somewhere else. I see the police as people who interact with other people, who may like or dislike other people, and then they form upon people in various ways as people and police officers forming on people the way other people seem to think about those people. And the police are not immune in any reality to forming upon people in a way they don't like because of this, that, and the other. If we interact with people, if I interacted with people like a police officer every day, a lot of people wouldn't like me. And the rest of their lives, like, oh, I hate people like him. Because I'd be bound to form on people the wrong way, a way they don't like. So that sucks. For that reason alone, I would say, let's not have police. I just felt a ripple in the stone. Something just rippled through me. That was weird. It was like an energy. That was nice. I mean, just for a second, I feel and see things sometimes. It's a nominal thought, right? It's like, yeah. See, I'm someone that I don't feel when I'm around a lot of different people that I'm comfortable really getting to know them very well. I feel like not that I'm a better, smarter person always, but I belong with my family. I'm someone who only wants to be with family. Strangers never really speak my language because my language is rooted in family. All my thoughts, all my beliefs are not based on like working at a job or working away from my family or just paying bills. I generate intelligence always related to my roots and my family to keep my tree strong. It's not that you have to do that or that's the only way to do that, but that's the way I do that. I'd love to know how other people do that. And maybe we all say, well, ultimately it's about our family, it's our home, and we have different ways of. So for me, my work keeps me very close to my family. My work is with words, which are always connected to my mother tongue, the tongue of my mother, which is the universe, my mother, and any hope I have of honoring my father. You see, and when I interact with people, my mind picks up where their intelligence is at with respect to that. Not that I know people through and through, but just like you, I can see where someone is at with respect to where I am at. And that is where I'm at. And that's where I'm coming from every day. So right away, like people often, strangers sometimes feel comfortable telling me about their trauma when they're children. They start coming from where they come from. And if someone is like what I would call like a psychopath, they'll come from where they come from. And this person will come from where they come from. If there's a drunk, angry person in the area, they will come from where they come from. And to some degree, I could, get through and not provoke